guys, it's T and you're watching T's Style, and we're going to make some red beans and rice, baby, right now. First you want to put 1 pack of red beans in a pot with maybe 3 cups of water. You can let that soak for 5 minutes. After you do that, put it on your stove and place in there a stick of butter, a tablespoon of parsley flakes, 2 bay leaves, and sprinkle maybe like a teaspoon of onion powder and a half a cup of chicken broth. In a separate pot, you want to use your smoked meat. So any kind of smoked meat or pickled meat you have. That can be neck bones, smoked neck bones, turkey necks, pickled rib tips, all that kind of stuff. You want to put that in that pot, come to a boil, and also put in there some onion powder and garlic powder to taste. Put both of those pots on a high fire and let both of them come to a boil. Once the beans start to boil, you can turn them down low. Once the pickled rib tips or turkey necks or any of your smoked meat that you want to put in there, that's optional, you don't have to put it. You want to poke that with a fork to see if they're nice and tender. If they're tender, you can drain out the water and place the meat inside of the pot of beans that's on a low fire. That is delicious. I highly recommend to do it with some type of smoked turkey necks or something like that. It's delicious. Now you want to get your favorite sausage and cut it up and basically add it in the pot with your smoked meat and your beans. Also, at this point in time, you can add your onion, a half of an onion, and 2 stalks of celery. Dice it and place it in the pot as well. Put it on a low fire, like I said, and mix it all through there really good and let that sit. Let those beans get really, really tender and start to make its own gravy. I like my beans to be so tender to where you don't even see a bean, you just see like the bean shell, and it's like a lot of just like good gravy in there. Also, you want to start to put your dry seasonings in there. You want to put, I would say, a teaspoon of parsley. I would say a couple of shakes of pepper. It all depends. If you want it really spicy, you can do that. You can do less if you like, but please try to put some in there to taste. You also want to put a tablespoon of garlic powder in there. And you want to mix it really good in there. So you have your dry seasoning, you have your fresh seasoning in there. I'm showing you have your smoked meat, and you have your 2 bay leaves and your sausage. And you just want to mix it every once in a while. Please watch your pot. Even though it's on a low fire, you don't want the beans to stick at the bottom of the pot. So constantly come back to it, check it, mix it around, get it all blended, make sure the beans are not sticking at the bottom, and you'll be good. Now you want to place a lid on the top of your pot, but as you can see, I don't have it completely all the way. I still have it to where it's ventilated so the steam can come out. You want to keep it like that and just let it sit and let the beans get really, really, really tender, and that sausage start to really cook in there, and the smoked meat get even tender because it'll fall off the bone. Now, while that's sitting on the side on a low heat, I'm going to take my ribeye steaks and I'm going to lightly sprinkle it with some Tony, some garlic powder, and I'm not measuring this. It's really hard, you guys, as a person who cooks down south, to basically put everything in exact measurements, because we don't. We just go by how we feel, you know. We just know what's enough for certain things. Also, you want to put some soy sauce. I had light soy sauce, and the best thing about this is you want to definitely massage your meat. You want to make sure every inch of the meat is coated with seasoning, and you want to flip it over and do the same thing. Sprinkle a little bit of Tony lightly, some garlic powder, and then you also want to take a couple of splashes, 2 splashes of light soy sauce. I love light soy sauce. It's less salty. The regular soy sauce is too salty, so I like to use a lot of this on my meats, like my steaks and ribs and pork chops and all that good stuff. You want to place it in a pan with some EVOO. You want to maybe do 1.5 tablespoons of EVOO, place it in a pan, warm it up a little bit, place your steaks in there, and just cook them until they're brown. I like mine to be well done. That is the Zatarain's New Orleans style red bean mix. You want to get a small bowl. Please don't mind the bowl. They're from the Dollar Tree. Don't hate. Get a small bowl. Add 1/2 cup of water in there, and place half of the pack of the Zatarain's seasoned bean mix. That is my special ingredient, people. You don't have to do this. Your beans actually right now are ready to eat. They're ready to be served. This is just my secret ingredient. This is just what it's all about for me. It gives you a great authentic Creole flavor. And like I said, I add half of that. Now, if you were to make 2 pots of beans, if you were serving a large family, you want to make 2 pots of beans, or you're having somebody over, company over, you would use that whole pack. So if you use 2 packs of the red beans that you saw at the beginning of the video, you can use the whole. And I'm showing you that there's still more in there. But since I'm only using 1 pack, you only need to use half of that. Don't use the whole pack. It's going to be too overbearing in that pot, and you're not going to be able to taste all of the other great seasonings, natural seasonings, the meat and all that kind of good stuff that you already have in the pot. Now you want to place that seasoning that you mixed well into the pot of beans, and you want to immediately start to mix it and blend it all in there together. If I didn't have the camera in my hand, I would have stirred and poured at the same time. But since I have the camera in my hand, I have to do it and then immediately start to stir it in the pot. But your beans are ready, you guys. They're ready to be served just like that. You don't have to let it sit any longer. As you can see, my beans are nice and creamy. They created this lovely, lovely gravy, and everything is fully cooked. The sausage and the celery, onions, the smoked meat, everything in there is ready. So you just want to boil some water and put your rice in there, or however you do your rice technique, and voila, steak is ready. And that's some steak, ribeye, rice with red beans, and I have some potato salad on the side because I love potato salad with my red beans. But that's it, you guys, and I hope you guys like it, because I am, as you can see, I'm stuffing my face, you guys. That is crazy. That is absolutely ridiculous. Look at me. But it's easy. I mean, that doesn't take long. It takes like I would say less than an hour or an hour. Depends on how fast you cook on your stove, and if you're pro at it, you can kind of like whip it up real good. And if you have everything already cut up and seasoned, you'll be fine. Just throw it in a pot and be ready. So thanks for watching. I love you guys. Rate, comment, and subscribe.